Hello, I'm Terri Polley, President and CEO of the Financial Accounting Foundation, or FAF. In 2016, the FAF Board of Trustees welcomed 6 new members to the board. Each of those 6 bring unique expertise and diversity to the Board of Trustees. I'm here today with 2 of our new trustees, Jean Flood and Chuck Allen. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how they see their new roles in serving on the board. So Jean, let's start with you. Being a member of the FAF Board of Trustees is a major commitment. Why were you interested in taking on this role?
The bulk of my career has been spent as an investor and as a business person. And so that having high quality financial reporting is just critical for those roles. Now, when I think of high quality standards, what am I saying? You know, there's really 3 things that come to mind to me. First of all, we need that data to be reliable. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that we need it to be consistent. If I'm looking at a company in one year and I'm looking at it the next year, I need to be able to make that comparison in a way that is built on a consistent framework that's approached the same way each year. And then the third thing is that I want it to be insightful. And I know that's a lot to ask, but it's really important. I've got to make decisions based on that. The users have to make decisions.
Chuck, how about you? Why would you want to take on this role at this point in your career?
This profession has been very good to me, and it's something that I've had a lot of passion around. You know, accounting has been my life, you know, for the last 40 years. I thought about what better position to be in to give back to the profession than being a trustee of the Financial Accounting Foundation. The reason I wanted to do this was really to put myself in a position to stay connected to the profession and to give back for a number of years into the future.
So Chuck, let's stay with you for a minute. You talked about your auditing background. Talk a little bit about how that professional experience will contribute to the trustees supporting the FASB and the GASB in their roles of setting standards for companies, for not-for-profit organizations, for state and local governments.
Even though I've been with the same firm for 40 years, I've had lots of different roles. I've seen lots of different things. And I believe that that diversity in the practice that I've seen, both, you know, quite frankly, in private companies, in public companies, and government organizations that we serve, and even on an international basis, working with international transactions and converting to IFRS, I believe I can bring that experience to the process of helping find board members and guiding those board members in regards to how we position ourselves to continue to create the highest quality accounting standards in the world.
And Jean, how about you, in thinking about your background, how do you think your background and experience will help in the support of the FASB and the GASB with their missions and the types of entities that follow their standards?
Yeah. Well, as I said, Terry, I've spent my career as an investor and as a business person. I've been around the making and the use of financial reporting for a long time. So, like Chuck, I've seen a lot of things, and I think where I can be helpful in this process is really understanding the trade-offs that come in when high-quality financial reporting is being produced. Not everybody is going to like the solution that's come up with. And so that what we have to do in that process is we have to understand what those trade-offs are, who has perspectives and why they have them, and then what are those implications for coming up with the best standards for the economy overall.
So Jean, what do you see as the most critical aspect of your trustee role?
In order to get to these high quality standards, there's ingredients that we need to bring into the mix. One of those ingredients, the first one, and I think this is probably the most important one, is people. So we've got to make sure that we have on the boards and then in the organizations that we represent the highest quality people that we can bring to this process. Number 2 is that we've got to always make sure that we have a diverse and inclusive environment for this process so that we get the best quality ideas and we get all of the people that are, all the important stakeholders involved so that we come up with the best solutions possible. And then the third thing, Terry, that jumps out to me is that the economy, the world, it's moving quickly. And so what that means is, in order for us to stay relevant to the stakeholders that we're serving, we're going to have to evolve. And that's not an easy thing to do, to always produce something that's on the cutting edge, but that's required. If we're going to be the gold standard, if we're going to be one of the gold standards in the world in this, we're going to have to evolve to make sure that we stay relevant to all of our stakeholders.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think relevance is very important. And Chuck, how about you? What do you see as the most critical aspect of your role as a trustee?
I believe that bringing my expertise to the board is probably where I'm going to add the most value. I see doing that in terms of, my experience in recruiting people. So again, being involved in the evaluations and committee and helping recruit and bring new board members on and helping to evaluate those. I see that as an important role that I can play. I think from a perspective of again, what I see from an international perspective today, sort of bringing that perspective in the context that I have, both in the profession and again in the international channels, I think can be valuable to the organization.
What would you like to see the trustees accomplish during your tenure, Chuck?
I will tell you that I think that the foundation today is held in very high esteem. And what I would like to see is for us to continue with the progress that we're making, and for me to play a role in that.
And Jean, how about you? What would you like to see the trustees accomplish during your tenure?
Well, at the end of the day, I think we're here so that when we finish the work, people look at us and we can look at each other and say, when we look at these reporting standards, we've got the information that we need to make decisions.
Thank you again, Jean and Chuck, for joining us today. And thank you, viewers, for watching.